You join us here at the Serpentine Road for this piece of royal history here in Hyde Park. This is Rotten Row, and this runs all the way to Hyde Park Corner. But do you know the history behind it? Today we're going to share that with you. The original road was established back in 1690 by William III, and it was his way from getting from Kensington Palace, which is just down further past the Serpentine Road, all the way through to St James's, of course the main royal residence of London at the time. Now today, covered in sand, you may not think this be a royal road, but let me tell you more about it. And actually, the first significant piece about this road, it was London's first, and if not the UK's, first artificially lit highway in Britain. And the way it was lit at the time is they had 300 oil lamps running down the side of the road. Yes, back in 1690, you'd had 300 oil lamps keeping it well lit. And the reason for that is to make sure that they had precaution against highwaymen who lurked in Hyde Park at the time. Now, Rotten Row has got many conjunctions about why it was called that, but actually it was called the Route de Roi, which is French for King's Road, which eventually got corrupted into Rotten Row. We moved then into the 18th century, and Rotten Row became a popular meeting place for upper-class Londoners. More of your Knightsbridge, Sloane Square, all those sorts of lovely Belgravia places that we have today. Well, at that time, it was over here. And what happened, particularly around midday for some unknown reason, people dressed in their finest clothes to ride along the row and be seen. Yeah, it's like cowboys in their cars these days around Mayfair. Now on the other side of the trees you've got South Carriage Drive, and you can just see that through the trees here. And that was used by people who had carriages for the same purpose, high in society. It wasn't until 1876 that the whole thing was reconstructed as a horse ride, with the brick base being covered by sand. Now, it is currently used by the Household Cavalry on a daily basis, and they're stabled nearby at the Hyde Park Barracks in Knightsbridge, which, funnily enough, runs alongside this, so quite often you will see horses out and about. And of course, it's used privately as well by members of the public who may also ride from their stables if they've got stables close enough to use it, and we have covered some stables before over in Paddington. There are a couple of commercial stables nearby, and funny enough, we saw some people out horse riding. Now here by the Rose Garden we've got this plaque which has been put up to celebrate 300 years. So it was put up in 1990, and it says, Rotten Row, the King's Old Road, completed 1690. This ride originally formed part of King William III's carriage drive from Whitehall to Kensington Palace. Its construction was supervised by the surveyor of Their Majesty's Roads, Captain Michael Studholme, and it was the first lamp-lit road in the kingdom. Designated as a public bridleway in the 1730s, Rotten Row is one of the most famous urban riding grounds in the world. I think the thing that really gets me is we have a piece of history here which is 1,384 metres long, or 4,541 feet, and it's just laying here under the sand. And this piece of road was used on a regular basis by royalty from one place to another. Incredible. Now, another notable feature of Rotten Row is the fact they've got the trees lined across it. Now, we're just looking at the chestnut tree there with the conker's ready to fall off. But over here on the other side of Rotten Row, you've got the London Plane. Now, the London Plane is a tolerant tree of atmospheric pollution and also root compact. And it's for this reason that it's a popular tree within London. And it was planted extensively in Victorian times to wither the pollution of London. Hence, you'll see a lot of these trees all around London. The other great thing about having all these trees planted, it also helped the road from avoiding all of the real heavy-duty wind flying across the park. So, did you know about Rotten Row? Did you know it was the first lamp-lit street in the kingdom, which is absolutely incredible? And can you believe that this was built in 1690, over 330 years ago, which I just find staggering. And you just think, underneath here, you've got the brickwork from the road underneath. Now, I'm not going to come down here with a bucket and spade, and I don't hesitate, I wouldn't ask anyone else to. Just think of the history that lays underneath this road, which, well, so many people come walking past or cycling past every single day without even realising. And that's the amazing thing about London. The history is just here. So if you get a chance to get to Hyde Park Corner, or the south part of Hyde Park, get over here.
Not only that, we've got a beautiful rose garden which is right by the side, so if you catch it in bloom, and it blooms most of the year, spring through to autumn, that's also well worth a visit as well. So Hyde Park is just one of those parks with so many different things, but this piece of magic. Also, if you like London history, up in the top right hand corner I've put an amazing churchyard which so many people don't know about over near St Paul's Cathedral, which is well worth a visit because it's got an Assyrian stone in it which dates back thousands of years, and that's in the top right hand corner. Thanks for watching, we'll catch you soon on the next video. Cheers!